93 NBL telecast, proudly presented by West Track Equipment and Chicken Treat.
Listen!
Good evening and welcome to the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide for tonight's clash between the Adelaide 36'ers and the Perth Wildcats. And David Spear, a packed house once again, as always. And tonight's game, I guess, a very interesting contest between Adelaide's backcourt and Perth's frontcourt.
No doubt about that, Peter. It really is going to be a terrific game. Perth have a terrific frontcourt. Andrew Vlahoff, James Crawford, and now, of course, Scott Fisher. Adelaide's backcourt, very, very strong. And I think it's going to be a great matchup. Really arch rivals of the mid-80s, and tonight's game is going to be another cracker-jacker.
Yes, traditional rivals, Adelaide and Perth, and we're certainly looking forward to it. OK, let's see how they line up now. And the starting five for Adelaide: Phil Smythe has returned from Canberra, Mike Mackay, Scott Ninnis back from South East Melbourne Magic, Mark Davis and the new boy on the block, Paris McCurdy. And for the Wildcats, Ricky Grace, Trevor Torrance, Andrew Vlahoff, James Crawford, the Alabama Slammer, and of course Scott Fisher joins the Perth Wildcats.
And of course, on the benches for the Adelaide 36'ers, Chris Blakemore, Brett Maher, Brett Wheeler, Paul Rogers and Jerry Denard. And for the Wildcats, Eric Watterson, Chris Carroll, Martin Catalini, Steve Davis and Jamie Baker. And
head-to-head, Adelaide and Perth, as we have said, very, very traditional rivals, these two clubs. They've played 28 times. Perth has won 15 and Adelaide 13.
The coaches, Don Monson, 1-0 in his first outing against North Melbourne last weekend, and Adrian Hurley, coach of the Wildcats, 14 wins and 9 losses.
NBL action tonight from the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide. 3 referees in 1993. There they are: Ian Watts, Michael Butler and Sean Fanning.
Yes, and of course tonight, Peter, in Adelaide, for Adelaide viewers and for people in Perth, it is the first time we see 3 referees officially here at the Clipsal Powerhouse. We are really looking forward to a great game tonight. I think it's going to be an absolute bottler. Perth and Adelaide really very, very strong. There's the Adelaide line now just coming out of their huddle. Electrifying backcourt up against one of the best front courts in the league.
Just talking about that backcourt, it has been suggested in the press broadly that it could be the best backcourt rotation in NBL history. Your view on that?
Well, I think it's very, very strong, and I suppose it is one of the best ever if you're talking about pure Australian content. of Australian backcourt players. Phil Smythe, Scott Ninnis, Mike Mackay, Brett Maher, really very, very strong. There's been some terrific backcourts in the past that have included players like Cal Bruton and you know, even the Wildcats with Ricky Grace, Mike Ellis before he retired. So really, I think as far as pure Australian content goes, it's got to be one of the best ever.
Of course, on the other side of the fence, the Perth Wildcats, what an incredible front court. Ricky Grace, Trevor Torrance, Andrew Vlahoff, James Crawford and Scott Fisher. Scott Fisher came into the Perth Wildcats just before the season started, and he certainly makes it an awesome starting five. Tip-off time very close here at the Powerhouse. Both sides won last week. Perth beat Gold Coast 97-81, and Adelaide beat the Giants 118-105. Adelaide gets the first ball. Phil Smythe wayward with the pass to Mike Mackay, but it's going to be a 36er ball. Phil Smythe received an award a little while ago, just before the game started, for having played more than 300 games for Australia. An incredible record, 328 in fact. Mike Mackay misses with the first layup. Scott Fisher's got the ball for the Wildcats. Tries to get in close. Paris McCurdy recovered poorly. Gave Scott Fisher a second chance, and of course he made the 36ers pay for it.
Here's McCurdy now going strong to the basket and connects. And a capacity crowd here at the Futsal Powerhouse celebrate the first 2 points in the 1993 season here at home against this mighty Perth Wildcat side. Trevor Torrance, James Crawford. Can't connect on that. Vlahoff very strong inside, and that's a real danger as far as I can see, Peter, tonight, that Andrew Vlahoff matchup inside of the keyway. If he gets dominant on the boards, he's really going to cause problems. There's the foul there, because he is so strong inside, and I suppose someone like Mike Mackay's got to look after him, and a real big ask.
That's the interesting aspect, though, isn't it, of this contest, because it's just a clear contrast. Smalls against the talls, and this is one area, as you say, where Adelaide may be in trouble. You've got a confrontation, say, between Mike Mackay and Andrew Vlahoff, and Mike Mackay certainly hasn't got the power to go with him, and interestingly, though, Mike Mackay's game is certainly much more varied. He's a better all-round player than he has been ever, as Mark Davis gets points for the 36ers. So at this early stage, the Sixers lead 4-3.
Torrance, Grace. On the other hand as well, Peter, I suppose Vlahoff's got to guard Mackay, which is not going to be easy. Now Vlahoff inside, looking to take it out, Mike Mackay, and it gets the roll. So the Wildcats with a 1-point lead early in this first quarter.
What's the Don Monson option if Vlahoff proves too strong for Mike Mackay?
I think it's got to be either there's the ball now given back to the 36ers. It's either going to be side Chris Blakemore, or probably a zone defense. Ninnis going all the way, and it gets the roll, and he's not going to count it. The referee won't count that. He says he didn't pick the ball up on the way to the basket. Let's watch this. He's picked it up. Gee, tough call. Tough call. Looked like could have been continuation. McCurdy working hard on Fisher. That's an air ball, and Vlahoff again comes away with it.
Ricky Grace for the Wildcats as the Perth side leads 5-4. Crawford and Grace. Scott Fisher and Grace.
Some heavy work going on inside too.
Is there ever? Paris McCurdy and James Crawford is the man I was talking about. Now Vlahoff inside, very, very strong. Great defence there from the 36ers.
Vlahoff looking for the foul. You can see obviously that the Wildcats, Peter, are trying to exploit that Mike Mackay matchup. There's Vlahoff in. That could be offensive foul. Vlahoff really trying to establish himself in that low post area and take advantage of Mike Mackay, and just probably use the elbows a little bit too much, trying to get strong position down there, and has forced a turnover.
Very interesting contest as Don Monson moves out onto court. Phil Smythe, Paris McCurdy. The alley-oop attempt for Mark Davis. It didn't work. Scott Fisher takes it away for the Wildcats. gets in very close. Good defence once again, although Blahoff found some space. Scott Fisher now. Great tap away there by Mike Mackay. Ninnis, Smythe. Good defence from Grace. But a great basket there for the 36ers. They lead 6-5.
That last alley-oop play by the Sixers, I think that's definitely caused by the fact that they've played this team 3 times already. James Crawford, Blahoff are ready for it. That's a strong move from Crawford inside. Geez, tough in there. Smythe now. Because they're so familiar with each other so early in the season, some of those players are really going to probably struggle to work. Ninnis going hard, gets the roll. So the lead changes once again. 3 times already in this first quarter.
It's a great start to what should be a very entertaining game here at the Powerhouse. Ricky Grace, there's Blahoff, too much space. Good defence though. The layout didn't work. It was McCurdy to Smythe, and with a lot of space, Mike Mackay, but a travel is called. And that is an expensive one against the 36ers. There are 8.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. The Sixers lead by 1 point, 8-7.
The guy's not happy about that.
I didn't see it, mate. It wasn't my call. Game ball.
Mike Butler there just
go
talking
to the bench
to...
and take the wipe. Yeah, we've got another ball.
I think there's a problem with the ball. Some of the players complaining about the slipperiness. On that last play with Andrew Blahoff going to the basket, the ball just actually slipped out of his hand. Lost a grip on it. Looking for a replacement ball. Mike Mackay also saying that he didn't travel, but I think he got caught up with his footwork and just he didn't have his feet set before Phil passed the ball.
We do have them, yeah. They're in 4, 6 minute mark.
We've got an older ball now. The referee's call was that the initial ball used was too new, too slippery. The players had complained. So Scott Fisher to Grace. So we're away again. 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ricky Grace, one of the best guards in the country. Trevor Torrance, Scott Fisher. Great defence there from Mark Davis, but a sweet turnaround by Scott Fisher. Sees Perth grab the lead now, 9 points to 8.
Mark Davis had position on Crawford, good defence, but Ninnis will pick it up. And the general Phil Smythe now sets the play. Mackay, top of the key. Now Ninnis takes the jump shot, can't connect. Away come the Wildcats. Ricky Grace has got Fisher down the side, that's where it goes. For 3, no. And McCurdy mops up on the scraps. The Super Sixers come away again.
Phil Smythe, the Sixers trail 8-9. A real fight for the ball there, and I think the umpire will call it, the referee will call it square.
Harris, I can see those hands.
7.5 minutes to go, first break. Starting 5 for the 36ers, Phil Smythe, Mike Mackay, Scott Ninnis, Mark Davis,
Put up in the centre,
and Paris McCurdy. No changes to that personnel to this point. Trevor Torrance put his hand on the ball, so Perth will come away with it. 9-8, Perth lead. Great rivals, these two clubs. Both NBL champions. Torrance and Crawford. Great defence there from Paris McCurdy.
That's terrific hustle. And that really is James Crawford's strength. That one dribble baseline jump shot, a real trademark. And let's just watch here. Got it across the hand. Referees deem these days hand part of the ball. Ricky Grace tries a strong move. McCurdy, Smythe to Mackay. Smythe now, Ninnis from the corner. Can't keep it going. He'll follow up on his own rebound. Davis takes it strong. So once again, the lead changes hands. We've got a timeout here at the Clipsal Powerhouse. The Super Sixers leading the Perth Wildcats 10-9.
The outrageous real estate man, Len Pretty.
Stick the ages, stick the land.
He calls his tenants mongrels. Now they get their chance.
Not mine.
Also the face and figure of the 90s, Gina Davis. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Western Australian owned and operated WestTrack. We're a powerful team. With an ongoing investment in apprenticeship training, WestTrack employs 59 apprentices, the largest number in private enterprise. and dedicated to building future careers for Western Australian youth. Westrac, a powerful team.
World-famous hot dog lover, Floyd Furter, has just tasted Chicken Treat's new hot chickadee dog. Floyd?
Well, it's fabulous. A real chicken hot dog in a lovely fresh sesame seed roll with a choice of yummy sauces.
And right now, you can get a hot chickadee dog and chips with a choice of sauces for only $2.
Well, that is ridiculous. A hot chickadee dog and chips for only $2? I mean, how are they going to make any money? I got the taste.
You're watching NBL action from the Clipsal Powerhouse. Great recovery here by Scott Ninnis. Just before the break, passed off to Mark Davis. And no difficulties at all for chairman of the board. So with just under 7 minutes to go on the first break, it's the West End 36'ers 10 leading the Wildcats 9. And David, already we're seeing signs of a great contest.
Undoubtedly, it's going to be a great game. The lead changed 4 or 5 times already in this first quarter. Both teams really going to their strength. Adelaide looking to get out and run the floor. Smythe trying to find Ninnis and Mackay out on the break. And the Wildcats really trying to slow the tempo down, which is the right way to go and find Vlahoff free. Crawford takes the jumper. Adelaide looked like they may have slipped into a little match-up zone there on that time down the floor. But Crawford came good with an easy 2.
Here's a class act, is James Crawford. So is that man, Mark Davis. So is he, Phil Smythe. 328 games for Australia. Vlahoff steals the pass and makes Adelaide pay dearly for that. So Andrew Vlahoff proving a thorn in the side of Adelaide presently. An interesting matchup there, as we've mentioned, with Mike Mackay. 6 minutes to go, first quarter, should I say, 13-10. The Wildcats leading. Torrance takes it away, and Vlahoff's on the move again.
Fisher in the corner. Crawford knocks it back out. Torrance will come up with it. The Wildcats get another look at it. Vlahoff for 3, and he's hot. Andrew Vlahoff makes it the biggest lead of the ball game. 6 points in favour of the Wildcats. Smythe. Now they go inside to Davis. Sixers will be looking for some hot 3-point shooting. It's not coming there. Vlahoff to Grace. Fisher's free in the corner. They find him finally. He goes in. This should be an easy 2 for Scott Fisher, and he gets it. So the Wildcats are looking very, very strong. And the game is certainly at their tempo.
Dead right, 18-10. Wildcats leading. Good move there by Grace. Nearly caused Phil Smythe to turn it over.
7 wide. That way. Great switch, what?
Across the arms game, James Crawford. Adrian Hurley certainly got this team playing very, very tight defence, right up in the face of the Adelaide 36'ers players. Here's Ricky Grace again, Torrance. And Torrance right up on Scotty Ninnis. He's got to be very careful Ninnis doesn't blow by. And here's Mackay. Can he get on target? He can. Cuts it to 6.
Vlahoff has 8 points for the Wildcats. They make that 10. He is red hot. 10 points at 80%, Andrew Vlahoff. So Don Monson would certainly be thinking very, very heavily about that one. 10 points in 8 minutes of basketball. Paris McCurdy.
Well, that's another time. That's the second time.
3-0.
Foul's called on Scott Fisher, and the basket will not count. One time, 2 or 3 minutes earlier, when Scotty Ninnis took a drive to the basket. Difficult call to make. Here's Davis. Back to Smythe. Trying to find Ninnis underneath. That's a good backdoor play they run. And of course, Peter, with these teams being so familiar with each other, it's almost like brothers.
Yes, very competitive brothers, but I think the aspect of the game that's upsetting the 36'ers at this stage, David, and you mentioned it before, was the very tight defence that the Perth side is playing at this stage. Crawford and Grace, and of course Vlahoff is the big winner.
I had a chance to have a chat to Eric Watterson, one of the Wildcats bench players, before the game started. Crawford trying to go to the hole there with it. Fisher And he's been called for the travel. And he said to me he thought that Perth had a very good chance of winning this game provided they selected the correct shots. They ran the game at their tempo and didn't get into a horse race with Adelaide and get caught out on the fast break situation. If they do that, they're going to be right in with a chance. McCurdy, Smythe, look at the defense from Fisher. McCurdy's free and he gets it. So Paris McCurdy is finding his feet here at the powerhouse. He's got 4 points, but the lead still 6 points to the Wildcats.
20 to 14, 3.5 minutes to go, first quarter.
Foul's been caught on Mackay. Ian Watts there making the call.
You said before this game started, probably the most crucial matchup of the game is that between Mike Mackay and Andrew Vlahoff. Certainly pointing in that direction with Vlahoff having 10 points. Torrance with too much space makes no mistake for a big 3 points, 23 to 14. So it's a 9-point lead to the Wildcats as Phil Smythe gets one back. So Adelaide struggling a little bit at this stage, 23 to 17, just over 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Vlahoff again, Grace. Vlahoff gets under the basket, they're trying to find him, but Mike Mackay's right with him. Scott Fisher, turnaround jump, can't get the points off hands.
10 wide. Yes.
Well, both referees there conferring and
10 on the wide.
making the call on Trevor Torrance for coming over the back. 1-on-1 set up now for the 36'ers. Eric Watterson there, number 4, coming into the game. Perth have got 6 plays now. They're taking out Trevor Torrance.
1-on-1. Scotty. No, it's not him.
Scott Ninnis going to the foul line. Bit of confusion as to who the player was.
1-on-1.
Interesting, Peter, we've played 9 minutes of this first quarter. Neither side really prepared to make any changes. Perth making the first one there with Eric Watterson. Really going to be a test of the starters' finesse and fitness tonight.
Well, there's no doubt that Perth would love to keep that starting 5 on the court all the time. They'd love that. James Crawford, great defence there by the 36ers. See Smythe come away. He's got a bit of space, but the big 3-point attempt doesn't land. The ball is over the end line, so it'll be a 36ers ball, and it'll be Scott Ninnis to bring it in.
I think Phil Smythe was in 2 minds in that last play as to whether he's going to pass or take the shot. Got caught out. Mackay. Davis, look at the defence from Ricky Grace, really working Phil Smythe over. Now to McCurdy. Davis, Mackay, that's a good little feed. Terrific play from the Adelaide Eagles Super Sixers.
They certainly had to work hard for it. Mike Mackay bringing up his 4th point. Andrew Vlahoff has 10, Scott Fisher 6. The Wildcats lead 23 to 19, so it's a little bit closer here in the powerhouse. Fisher goes for the high loop to Vlahoff, finds its mark. Vlahoff under pressure. The turnaround shot didn't work. Phil Smythe comes away with the ball again. Mark Davis with plenty of space. Can't bring up 3 points though. Scott Fisher works very hard for the rebound. 1 minute 47 seconds to go.
Foul's been called on Phil Smythe. It's his first foul. If we take a look at the Sixers shooting 47% against the Wildcats 53. So both teams shooting the ball fairly well from the field. But it's the rebounding department which the Wildcats are ahead 11 to 6. Ricky Grace taking it, Smythe. Won't go. There's another rebound. This time to Mackay. And away come Adelaide. Ninnis looking to find some space, and that'll be a foul on Eric Watterson. Just moving across, trying to cut off the defensive lane on the baseline. Here it is on replay. Still moving there. Got him more with the leg at the hip area than anything else. So Phil Smythe will sit down. Brett Maher checks in. And Peter, Don Monson's going to be careful that Phil doesn't run out of steam. I know he's a very, very fit player, but at the pace that this game is being played, and with Ricky Grace dogging him all over the court, he's really going to need that rest just as well. He's got a backup like Brett Maher.
Here's good point. Scott Ninnis puts the first one away.
It's going clean.
Adelaide shooting 47% from the floor, Perth 50%. From the three-point line, Adelaide has got 1 from 5 at 20%, Perth 2 from 4 at 50. So Scott Ninnis stitches that one up for Adelaide, and Ricky Grace brings the ball back for Perth.
Grace. Oh, he's got round McCurdy as well as Marr. Out to Crawford. That won't go. Fisher, look at him working hard underneath. And yes, it's been Adelaide ball. We've got to hand it to Paris McCurdy. He's really been working hard inside. He may not be a flashy sort of player, but he doesn't give up.
I think that says it all. He's a hard worker, and he works as hard. He'll work as hard at the end of the game as he does as he started it. Paris McCurdy, recruited by Don Monson. The Scott Ninnis pass doesn't quite find its mark.
That's a clever play by Scott Fisher then. Both Mackay and Fisher going out of bounds, and Fisher just dragged it back off onto Mackay. Trevor Torrance back in for Andrew Vlahoff, and he goes into the front court. So that'll give Sixers a little bit of room to breathe on that front court lineup. Crawford now to Torrance. Now they look to go to Fisher. Being heavily guarded inside. He may have lost it. He has. Watterson working hard, throws it up over the ring. All players going after it. Now the Greyhound Ninnis. Cross court to Mackay. Tries a three. Won't go. Can't find that shooting touch from last Sunday.
23-21. The Perth Wildcats leading. 16 seconds to go and counting down. Ricky Grace. He'll try and hold it up for a last attempt on the bell for the Wildcats. 6 seconds now. Grace tries to get a bit closer. Here's the last attempt. No, Grace might get another one away, and he gets the points just before the break. So well set up there by the Perth Wildcats, and it's quarter time here at the Powerhouse. The Perth Wildcats 25 lead the West End 36'ers 21.
Next week on Today.
Infidelity. Would you let your partner sleep with someone else for $1 million?
The young Australian movie director wowing them overseas.
And how you can win the ultimate Mother's Day prize.
Wake up to what's happening next week on Today.
Jeff Marsh. Oh, what a great drive.
If you really want to have a great drive, have a look at the all-new Holden Jackaroo V6 4x4. The 24-valve V6 is more powerful than Pajero, so getting out of a sticky wicket's no problem at all. And the all-new Jackaroo is far more roomy than Nissan Patrol, and that's a huge hit with my family. In fact, Michelle was so impressed, I had to buy her a Jackaroo as well.
Experience the all-new fully imported Jackaroo V6 at your country Holden dealer today.
At the Denmark Agricultural College, students seeking higher education, apprenticeships or employment in agriculture get solid skills training and theory in course areas as comprehensive as the industry itself. Year 10 students considering this educational alternative for next year should contact the college and arrange to participate in a 1-week obligation-free introductory program prior to enrolment. Ring now and put this stamp of success on your future.
Whatever you require, from a household pressure system to a farm water supply, submersible or industrial pumps, Southern Electrics can show you the benefits of Grundfos. Assembled and built in Australia, Grundfos pumps are made of stainless steel and are backed by a 2-year warranty. Southern Electrics also provide a fully equipped workshop with pump testing facility and spare parts to ensure that you can buy with confidence. Southern Electrics Albany and Grundfos pumps. Simply superior.
The biggest star of the 90s, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is set to tear up a screen in the month of May with 4 Hollywood blockbusters. Stop it! An undercover cop. Hi. On his toughest assignment yet, Kindergarten Cop, teaming up with James Belushi in the action-packed Red Heat. Danny DeVito makes up comedy's most unlikely duo in Twins, and the box office sensation Terminator 2, Mega Schwarzenegger in May's Mega Movies.
Trust me.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide. At quarter time score, the Wildcats 25, the Adelaide 36'ers 21. And looking at those stats at David Spear, the rebounds tell a big story.
Yes, they do. 13-7 there. That's a telling factor if you're a 36er supporter. If you're the Wildcats, you're doing okay because they can afford really to go ahead and trade. Adelaide can't. Three-point percentage in favour of the Wildcats there. The field goal percentage is even. The free throw percentage is terrible. Both teams really not shooting enough there. And the turnover department, 5 turnovers each in that quarter. Well, you can't have 20 turnovers in a game and expect to win.
Okay, the Mike Mackay, Andrew Vlahoff duel, how do you see it?
Well, round one to Andrew Vlahoff, there's no doubt about that. 10 points and 4 rebounds in that first quarter. Adelaide may have to look at some sort of zone defence at some stage. Maybe Coach Monson will give that a try during this second quarter and see how it goes. Interesting to note that the Wildcats haven't needed to use their zone, which they did use quite a bit in the pre-season games.
Paris McCurdy.
Good first quarter from Paris. He's really been hustling well. 4 points and 4 rebounds. A good opening quarter from him.
Perth gets first use of the ball. Ricky Grace. And the Wildcats lead 25 to 21. It's going to be a real contest, this one. It'll go all the way. You can be sure of that. Ricky Grace. Andrew Vlahoff. A real thorn in the Adelaide side. A big rebound from Mark Davis. And now Phil Smythe. Brett Maher. And Mark Davis. He's allowed to get in close. They can't get the basket initially. Mark Davis goes back. They still can't get it. Great hustle and bustle from the Wildcats. And Watterson brings it away. And now Torrance had a bit of space there. Thought about the three-point shot. Decided not to and went back to Watterson. 25 to 21. Perth opened out a 9-point lead in the first quarter. And the Alabama Slammer puts it away as Perth eke out a 6-point lead with 11 minutes to go in this second quarter.
That's his trademark, James Crawford. That baseline, if he gets just a sniff of that being free, it's good night. Look at Grace really doing a hard job on Smythe, trying to keep the ball away from him. Good tactics there by Adrian Hurley. Trying to keep the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Here's Davis. Needs to really take it at Crawford. That'll be a hands foul. Referee Mike Butler.
Foul is 7 White, holding on the arm this way.
I think we can see this on the replay here. Across the arms there as Mark Davis looked to take it on the drive. Maher, number 5. Sixers seem to be a little out of their offensive tempo and alignment at the moment. Mackay. Now they find Smythe free in the corner. Nothing there. Cross court, Maher. Looking for that little jump shot. That's a very good shot. And dare I say that Brett Maher jump shot from around that foul line area is one of his favourite shots.
And a big confidence boost too for Brett Maher. Andrew Vlahoff stumbled a little bit on that approach. Crawford and Watterson. So it's 23 to 27. The Wildcats by 4. Just under 10 minutes to go now. Second quarter. Grace inside there to Vlahoff, and that's the advantage of having a big, powerful man like Andrew Vlahoff in your setup. Brett Maher for the long one. Doesn't get the basket. Watterson takes it away. Torrance. 29 to 23. Wildcats up by 6. James Crawford now. Good defence there by Paris McCurdy. I'll try to get this ball to Vlahoff again. I'll try and get him in close. Although they ran out of time then. Grace went for the long one. It didn't work for them, and Phil Smythe takes it away.
A good rebound by Smythe there under pressure. Now they try to go into Davis. Watterson coming from behind. Now they double team. Got a good pass from Mark Davis. Mackay can't finish it off. Don Melson really calling for the fouls. Grace. Crawford. Oh, looks at a three-pointer. That's a good drive from James Crawford. Nothing really dropping for our side at the moment. One gets the feeling the Wildcats are playing their tactics a little better at the stage. Mackay getting through. He can't make a bucket at the stage. And Grace again brings it away for Perth.
Here's a live wire. 29 to 23. Perth leading. 8.5 minutes to go second quarter. Just seems that the tactic that is upsetting Adelaide, David, is the hustle man-on-man defence that Perth is employing. Not the zone, it's the close man-to-man attention when you look at Grace on Smythe. But it's not just that, it's 5 men on 5 men when the 36ers go forward, and it seems to be upsetting them.
Yes, there's no doubt about that as both teams make some changes. Mackay and McCurdy will sit down. Chris Blakemore making his debut here at the powerhouse. Steve Davis also looking to come on. Fisher back on. So now there'll be some interesting lineups. I'd say Davis on Fisher. That'll give Blakemore on Vlahoff, and he's giving away 2 or 3 inches to big Andrew Vlahoff. And Steve Davis is going to come back in for Ricky Grace if he makes this foul shot. So it's really going to cause some high problems. So Perth still rotating this big front court of theirs. Ricky Grace steps out for a quick breather. And looks like they've gone to his own defence, Peter.
Yes, it looks that way. 31-23. The Wildcats leading.
Yes, they have. They've gone to their match-up zone. Smythe in the corner. Ninnis, long way out, Scotty Ninnis, but he connects. And that is going to help his confidence. Brings the lead only back to 5. Fisher, cross-court, Torrance. He's been quite good from out there, Trevor Torrance, and he nails another one.
3 points for 3 points there, 34-26. Wildcats lead by 8. Scott Ninnis scored 5 from 7 from the 3-point line last week against the Giants. And that was part of a 36-point haul for Scott Ninnis. No basket for the 36ers. Eric Watterson for the Wildcats, and Scott Fisher thought about going all the way and does. Gets the basket, very neatly done, Scott Fisher. So no let up from the Wildcats as they lead 36-26. That's the biggest break of the game, David, 10 points. Okay, we're going to take a break now with 7 minutes, 18 seconds to go. Second quarter, the Wildcats lead 36-26.
Hi, I'm Courtney Thorne-Smith, Allison Parker on Melrose Place.
Allison, this is real life. You just can't stall on the ring.
Well, if I don't find a roommate in 3 days, I'm sleeping in my car. Yeah, and here's at the apartment.
Shell Remular X, the oil that protects all kinds of diesel engines. Clearing the ground, moving around, caring for cultivation, cause the oil's really strong. The diesel lasts long, needs little maintaining. With Remular X, the oil that protects, the difference is the saving. When the harvest is on, the hours are long, remember the lubrication of Remular X, the oil that protects, it's your diesel's preservation.
Now's the time to head for your Shell distributor and take advantage of the huge autumn oil savings. Buy Remular X or Myrena, and the more you buy, the more you'll save. But only available from your participating Shell distributor, servicing WA from Meekatharra to Albany.
T&R supply framed homes anywhere in WA, site-built, transportable or kit homes. 20 years experience in country buildings guarantees speed, efficiency and after-sales service. T&R specialise in cyclonic or seismic areas with BHP steel frames, James Hardie feature Hardie plank and CSR gyprock internal finish. Visit our large display village and see Colonial Federation or two-storey designs with today's features and colours, or phone for a brochure. T&R, your country builder with a difference.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide, with the Wildcats having the biggest break of the game so far, 36-26. And the Wildcats are certainly taking advantage of missed opportunities from the 36ers, David, with this defensive rebounds. 14 they've taken away. In fact, they've out-rebounded Adelaide clearly, 18 rebounds to 12. Adelaide shooting 38% against Perth's 50, and that really tells the story.
Yes, it does. They're only giving Adelaide one shot down that end, and they're making it a very difficult shot. Adelaide's field goal percentage is dropping down lower, down to 38%. And by making that defense tougher and giving them only one shot, they've managed to push that lead out to 10 points. Blakemore's sit down. Ninnis goes for 3. McCurdy is back on the court. And the Wildcats are away again. Watterson, Vlahoff. And back out to Eric Watterson. 240-odd games for Eric Watterson, being one of the stalwarts of this Wildcat side for many years. And a very handy backup. Fisher looking to take it at McCurdy, and it's too easy at the moment.
It's a 12-point break to the Wildcats. So Adelaide has got a nail-biting 6.5 minutes to go in this second break. If Perth maintain this momentum, they can wrap the game up just about in this first half. What can Adelaide do? Big defence there from Andrew Vlahoff over the top of Scott Ninnis.
What's in the key?
It's an Adelaide ball. Mike Mackay will take it from the side.
They're very strong, Perth. They're in that zone defence. McCurdy at the top. Smythe. Ninnis. Mackay in the corner. Gets the three-pointer away. Can't get it. Davis. And the ball's off one of the Wildcats players. And they are really swamping him on the boards. It's almost like a lone hand. Mark Davis in there trying to get in some offensive rebounds. 94 so far for the game. McCurdy. And Vlahoff has been called for the foul.
Number 21, 2-1 White, holding.
Mike Butler there making 2-1 on Andrew Vlahoff. That's his second foul, I believe, Peter.
Okay.
Yes, second foul on Andrew Vlahoff. Let's just watch it on the replay. We didn't quite see it. Vlahoff looking for the push-off from Mark Davis. Now it goes to Davis. Ninnis can't get the shot to go, and there's that one shot, one rebound, and away come the Cats.
On the run is Trevor Torrance, and an incredibly quick attack on the ball there by Scott Ninnis, but he's given away the foul.
That every time. Friends, you threw that. I had to call that one.
The foul is on Scott Ninnis. And, well, they call him the Greyhound. He really moved up the court then and just couldn't quite cut it off. Watterson. 38-26, a 12-point break by Perth. Scott Fisher. He's also a thorn in the side of Adelaide.
Another offensive rebound.
Watterson again. Under 6 minutes to go now in this first half. Torrance had too much space to move. Perth is really playing around with Adelaide at the moment. Too tall, too strong as Fisher goes in with the loop. Can't get the points. Big defensive rebound there by Mark Davis. Now Mike Mackay. The 36ers need some points. Scott Ninnis gets in close. A lot of defence there.
Yes, good drive by
I didn't think that one was all
Scotty Ninnis there.
11 White hitting.
Fouls on 11 White there, Steve Davis. And there's the foul across the arm. Davis will check out for the Wildcats. And this is going to be Adelaide's problem all season, Peter, when we get to these big teams. The Sydneys, the Melbourne Tigers now, and the Perth Wildcats. They are very big. And Adelaide may have to start using the likes of Jerry Denard, maybe a little bit, or maybe Brett Wheeler, I don't know, maybe a bit light on as far as physical strength is concerned.
Okay, let's go. One to go.
Scott Ninnis still having a bit of a fight there at that foul line. He's got 2 from 4 so far in this game. Only 50% return, and he misses the next one. So that's 2 from 5 at 40%. And Adelaide can ill afford missed opportunities like that.
Vlahoff looking for Fisher. Now Ricky Grace. Just under 5 minutes now in this second quarter. Crawford, he'll look to take it up McCurdy here. One dribble, no. Jumper from the corner. James Crawford won't go. And look, offensive rebound. I think that's going to be on Scott Fisher.
You played good D. That was fine. That was fine. No. White, 3-0. Push.
Yes, 3-0 the push. Over the back, and the Wildcats can afford it. It's only 2 fouls on Scott Fisher. They've still got Steve Davis on the bench. 10 fouls, I suppose, in the total of the game, but no one's in real serious foul trouble, and they've got that big rotation, and they can afford to throw people around and go to the offensive boards the way they're going. Make it very difficult. McCurdy, another turnover, and away come the Cats again.
They're doing it far too easily. The Perth Wildcats on the rampage here in Adelaide, leading 38-26. 4.5 minutes to go, first half. Crunch time for Adelaide. Ricky Grace. Just slowly running down the clock. Moving up on 10 seconds now. Scott Fisher tries to get in a little bit closer. Great defence there by Mark Davis, but Fisher gets the ball away. And a very good basket under tough defence there against Mark Davis. So 40-26, 14 points, a big break.
It is a big break. That's a foot violation. And the Sixers will get the ball again from the sideline. But Don Monson does need to do something. 14 points. He can't let this get out to sort of 20 points by half-time, which is obviously what Adrian Hurley would like. A change in the lineup somewhere has to come. He has to try and match these teams on the boards. There's another turnover. Fisher now to Grace. Blahoff, just too much power and strength inside. Look at that, Fisher and Davis really working hard inside. Now Crawford, just inside three-point line. Can't get it. Now Ninnis. Can they spark something here? McCurdy. That will count. So Paris McCurdy showing some fight. And walks over and quietly has a little word to James Crawford.
How did you see the foul, David?
Well, interesting one, wasn't it?
One shot.
They were a little bit fortunate there, Adelaide.
Well, the referee is in a better position than what we are, and can't make the calls for him. And I wouldn't like to.
No, I've never seen a referee change his mind either. Paris McCurdy goes to the foul line for one shot. Can he turn it into a three-point play for Adelaide? 3.5 minutes to go. First half.
Too early. White ball.
And that's a lane violation. And it's just really not Adelaide's night tonight. Don Monson hand on head. Walking the sideline, not really knowing what to do. He's got to do something. He's got to try some changes, get something going.
Might look at the record books too, David, for low scores at half-time for Adelaide. 28 at the moment, with 3.5 minutes to go first half. Torrance, Blahoff and Grace. Perth really doing as they want at this stage. Adelaide's gone to his own defence, but Perth too big and strong. Travel against Perth. So Adelaide gets a break, but can they turn it to their advantage? 40-28, it's a 12-point break. Perth doing as they want at this stage, but certainly too big, too tall, too strong. Scott Ninnis had a big outing last week when he scored 36 points against the Giants. Mike Mackay can't get the basket. Scott Fisher under it again. And they're certainly controlling the boards, Perth, as they did in the game last week against the Gold Coast. Blahoff, Torrance and Davis. Ricky Grace, Paris McCurdy, super defence. Away goes Mike Mackay, Davis in late, the layup, and he gets the basket. Superbly set up by Paris McCurdy. Adelaide gets to within 10, 30-40.
There's no doubt this Adelaide side is undermanned in the height department on the court. Steve Davis tries a three, and look at Blahoff coming over the boards. They're just not cleaning up on the rebounds, especially that defense over to the floor. And consequently, the Wildcats are getting second and third shots. But we've got a timeout now at the Quicksilver Powerhouse.
In May's Mega Movie Month,
You know, kindergarten is like the ocean. You don't want to turn your back on it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger on his toughest assignment yet.
They're horrible.
Kindergarten Cop, soon.
For a very unboring breakfast, take some pure fresh WA milk, fruit, wheat germ, honey, and you have a very high energy, high fibre breakfast. Pure fresh WA milk.
Carpet your whole home from around $750. That's right, you heard right. Carpet your whole home from around $750. Where? Albany Interiors Carpet Hotline. Quality carpet for your home at a price you can afford. And with the money you save, you can afford to buy locally made vertical blinds at better than factory prices. So for all of your vertical blinds and full carpets, you can save money by shopping at Albany Interiors Carpet Hotline, Albany. Don't miss out.
Albany's independent farmer store on the edge of town, Peter Graham Company, gives farmers and townsfolk alike the buying edge and money savings value on general hardware lines, as well as tools and plumbing supplies. And Peter Graham Company are the home gardener's friend with everything from reticulation to pine posts. Wherever you live and work, you'll appreciate their quality and value selection of clothing. Even the needs of man's best friend and other pets are at hand at Peter Graham Company, your local bloke from CRT.
The score is 30-40. The Perth Wildcats doing as they like here at the Powerhouse. 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the first half. Adelaide in trouble. Adrian Hurley would be pretty happy because he hasn't got any real foul problems. James Crawford with 3 leads. The 36ers would be delighted if a couple of the big guys from the Wildcats got fouled out. That one brings the crowd to its feet. A Mike Mackay bomb. So the 36ers draw to within 7 points.
Oh, Munson gave the air a bit of a punch then, a bit of emotion. I would say he would certainly be looking for a better defensive effort, a bit more commitment. Ricky Grace now gets the screen from Fisher, now looking to go all the way. Vlahoff sets for 3, can't get it. That's another rebound. Crowd calling for travel, but again the Wildcats get it back, and that's where we really need to get that ball away. Vlahoff, Fisher, and that'll be a foul on Mackay. He's not happy about it, but nevertheless it's there.
Foul is 10, hits across the arm.
Across the arm is the call from referee Mike Butler, and that's Mike Mackay's second foul. In the Fisher there. Oh, hard to see. Looked like it could have been a foul. Grace, Fisher, another offensive rebound, and a foul on Davis. Players looking for a pushing foul over the back. But that man, Scott Fisher, Peter, is just so strong. He just works the offensive glass like a demon.
Yes, and I guess in the analysis of the game so far, Perth wouldn't be that happy with its 41% return from the floor. They were much higher in the first quarter. Scott Fisher.
Fisher does use that body on the offensive glass as well. He certainly likes to get in there and mix it up. And if he is pushing inside the keyway there and the referees aren't calling it, then he's getting away with it. And I'm sure Mark Davis and co do the same sort of things down this end of the floor as well.
Been a dominant player in the second quarter, Scott Fisher. He leads the point scorers now with 14. And he's doing that at 55%. Fantastic acquisition to any team. Perth's front court was probably, from their opposition's point of view, strong enough.
32 red, 3.
Fouls on Parrish McCurdy. A pushing foul, that's his second personal foul.
It looks like Chris Blakemore will replace Parrish McCurdy before this quarter's out, although it's getting pretty close. 40 seconds to go now. Ricky Grace. 42-33, the Wildcats leading.
That foul, I think, is going to be on Scott Fisher. We'll wait for the call. No, it's on 21, Andrew Vlahoff.
Step too late, no.
And that's his third foul.
No, it's offensive. Offensive.
They're looking for the one-on-one. The 36ers were looking for a one-on-one, but it's not there. So Parrish McCurdy will step out. Chris Blakemore comes in for the final play. So too will Eric Watterson come in and take out Andrew Vlahoff. And we've got another timeout, yes. I think, Peter, the statistics really tell the story again. We said the Wildcats out-rebounding the Sixers. They're shooting a better percentage both from the field and the three-point line, the foul line. The Sixers are 33% from the foul line, and really you can't afford to shoot like that.
Yeah, Scott Ninnis has let the side down in that particular area, only 2 from 5. But there's no doubt that the Perth Wildcats have out-rebounded the 36ers. Neither side will be happy with its shooting from the floor. You talked to Eric Watterson before the game, and he talked about shot selection. Certainly, in a one-dimensional sense, they wouldn't be too happy with that. But of course, you've got to look at your opposition, and even with the 41% as against 37%, they're doing better than Adelaide.
Well, the other thing you've got to consider as well is that they are getting a lot more shots. They've taken 41 shots as opposed to 38 shots. So they're getting more offensive rebounds, and they're really making it very, very difficult at the other end of the floor for Adelaide to get decent shots away. And I think that's a key part of the game. If Perth can really take control of their offense, keep the game at their tempo and push that ball into Crawford and Blahoff every time down the floor, they're really going to cause Adelaide problems. And Don Monson knows those. You can see him there really pacing the sidelines, I suppose, concerned at the lack of power that he has got, and he's either going to get more inspiration out of his players or he's going to go for a bigger lineup. One thing we should mention, David, and that is that Adelaide in its pre-season finished its games very, very strongly. Now, yes, we mentioned fouls a little while ago. Crawford with 3 fouls, Blahoff with 3. Those two players, those two dominant players, would only want to start nudging the 5. And in a last break, midway through the last break, with Adelaide finishing strongly, anything can happen. Adelaide way out of the game at the moment, trailing by 9, but it's a very strong lineup. Playing here at home against the Wildcats will certainly bring the best out of Adelaide. Well, it's a long way to go. That's in this game. Still a long way to go. The shot clock counting down. It's at 13. Game clock's at 17, so it's about a 5-6 second differential. Mackay from the corner connects. Now the 36ers are going to try and stop the Wildcats. 4 seconds. Ricky Grace will take it all the way, and it won't go. And with 1.3 seconds remaining, fouls on Phil Smythe. And Ricky Grace will go, there's the hand on the side of Ricky Grace, and that's what referee has called the foul. And 3 fouls on Phil Smythe. 2. So Grace has the opportunity now to put those 2 points back on the board and take it back to a 9-point lead. He gets the first. And Ricky Grace, only 5 points tonight so far, and 3 of those from the foul line. So a quiet game by his standards, but keeping control of the rudder in the Blakemore, and that'll do it for the half here at the Clipsal Powerhouse. The Adelaide Eagles Super Sixers trailing the Perth Wildcats by 9 points, 35-44 at halftime.
They are heroes. No!
Craig McLaughlin.
Really this way.
Nathaniel Parker.
I'm not some sort of kamikaze nut.
John Beach.
I don't like it.
Christopher Morsley.
I hate war. Did you hate it when you were winning?
And Simon Burke.
Where did you send them?
Our new series capturing the mateship.
Sorry, David.
And courage.
Barbarian! Yeah!
These are the Aussie men that became heroes.
You.
The true event, Heroes 2, starts Sunday on GWN.
An R&I block and build loan. An R&I first homeowners loan. An R&I investment loan. An R&I home improvement loan. Whatever your situation, the R&I has a home loan to help.
Hike, run, walk and save dollars at Gom Shoex during their huge catalogue sale. For rugged good looks, try the High Cut Forza, now $49.95. Or these stylish leather boots, reduced to $69.95. Check out these popular styles from Osgear and Candy. And for little feet, these high and low cut styles from $29.95. Gom Shoex catalogue sale, on now in Bunbury, Manjimup, Collie, Bustleton, Mandurah and Willerton.
From the 4 elements, earth, wind, fire and water, Applebee's Jewellers bring you a stunning collection of quality jewellery from Australia and around the world. Exquisite designer jewellery, diamond rings, fine gems, pearls, gold and silver. The mechanical precision of finely crafted clocks, stylish timekeepers and sports watches. The perfect fusion of the elements. Applebee's Jewellers are your classic jewellers, the brightest light of Centre Point, Bunbury.
At Albany Motorcycles, we've got them with 4, 2, 1 and even none. We're the most complete motorcycle dealer in the Great Southern. Choose from the best: Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki and Suzuki. Whatever the terrain, we've got a bike to put between you and the ground, even you 16-year-olds. Linton and Gary have it together at Albany Motorcycles. All the accessories, bins of spares and a complete service and repair workshop. Albany Motorcycles on Chester Pass Road, the dealers of wheels.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide. It's half-time. The score's the Wildcats 44 to the Adelaide 36'ers 35. Hasn't been a good half for Adelaide, David.
No, it certainly hasn't. On the contrary, I think Perth's game has been very, very good. Obviously, they've got a game plan. Now, Adrian Hurley has set a game plan, play hard defence, give the Sixers only one shot, stop the running game, don't allow Ninnis to get on the fast break, don't allow Smythe to pick out the players that he wants to pick out, and it's working for them. Consequently, they're controlling the rebounds, as we can see the stats there.
26 to 14 now. Of those 26, Perth has pulled in 18 defensive rebounds, and when you mentioned before that Perth is only really letting Adelaide get one shot away, Adelaide shooting 38% from the floor and only 27% from the three-point line, and they've had to use that option often. They've only got 3 from 11 there. With Perth controlling the boards, you're looking at those stats, I'm surprised they're not further than 9 points in front.
Exactly right. I mean, we look at the high scorers now. Mike Mackay, Ninnis there. No one really taking the game by the scruff of the neck. For the Wildcats, well, Fisher and Vlahoff have been very, very good, and they've had good support from the rest of the teammates, all scoring 6 points there. So Torrance, Crawford and Grace.
Vlahoff had 10 points at quarter time. In fact, he had those probably 3 or 4 minutes before the break. Mike Mackay has certainly tightened up on him in the second quarter. But you mentioned initially that it was going to be an interesting matchup. Mike Mackay came back well. He's got 9 points to his name now, but only shooting 36%. He's had shot 4 from 11. Now, Mike Mackay normally gets a better return from that. And that brings us to another point. Perth has used the zone very well, but hasn't really had to that often.
No.
It's hustle, bustle, one-on-one defence has upset the 36ers.
Well, that's right. And the thing is, Adelaide aren't getting good enough shots away because of Perth's defence. Their defence is very, very tough. Ricky Grace is doing a very good job on Smythe, really working him over, and consequently, they're not getting free enough in their offensive movement to get good shots away, and that's causing them problems.
Brace yourself for a movie that'll set your heart racing. A family trapped by a man more desperate than any other. Mickey Rourke, Anthony Hopkins, Kelly Lynch and Millie Rogers. Desperate Hours, coming soon.
The Venamours have been farming this land for 4 generations. Since 1934, they've harvested 45,000 hectares of wheat, shorn 150,000 sheep, put up 160 kilometres of fencing, and worn out 16 tractors, 8 harvesters, 8 utes, and 5 trucks. They've also built 6 sheds and 2 homes, and it's all been protected by just one insurance company, West Shore.
Country harness racing. It's a great night out for all the family. Enjoy the thrills of top harness racing together with your chance to win. Collie Saturday features the Healthway King Coal Cup for the WA Health Promotion Foundation, plus GIO Series races and the Archie Martin Vox Handicap. And there's also 7 action-packed events at Wagen. Monday at Pinjarra is for Cullity Timbers, while Northern Wednesday sees the Radio 6 AM Stakes together with GIO Sires races. Harness racing for top action.
Southern Sound and Mad Marty Surfwear doing it together. Mad Marty's have got all the happening surf gear of the season. New arrivals regularly with the best labels, best range and definitely the best prices on all surf clothing, ladies wear, kids gear, wetsuits and accessories, along with Southern Sound, Albany's #1 music superstore. Offer the best selection of CDs and cassettes in the Southwest. There's something for everyone, along with accessories galore. So for all surf and sound, head no further than Mad Marty Surfwear and Southern Sound, the ultimate experience.
The greatest car Toyota has ever built in Australia is now on display at Bunbury Toyota. This totally new Camry must be seen and driven to experience the car's extremely roomy and comfortable interior and the quietness and smoothness of the 4-cylinder and V6 engines. The boot space is huge and the new Camry is finished to export quality standards. So no matter what type of car you're thinking of buying, make sure you test drive one of these superb new Camrys now at Bunbury Toyota, #1 in the Southwest.
At the powerhouse, it's half-time. The West End 36'ers trail 35-44. And let's just have a look at the 36'ers come out, David, and see how they're going to start. Paris McCurdy, Scott Dennis, Phil Smythe, Mike Mackay and Mark Davis. That's their starting five. And Perth looks like they're also back to their starting five.
Yes, one would expect that, Peter. You wouldn't expect Perth to change anything. And it'd be very interesting to see now if Adelaide have made any tactical changes out of the half-time break. So Davison Crawford will jump at Crawford this time. Got it on the way up. And of course you're not allowed to tap the ball whilst it's on its flight up. Must wait for it to reach its peak. Mackay inbounds to Ninnis. Adelaide with first use of the ball and nearly turned over. Again, Ricky Grace right on top of Phil Smythe. I suppose Adrian Hurley would know Phil Smythe just about as good as anyone after having him with over the Australian team for 4 or 5 years. McCurdy gets Fisher up in the air, won't go. Blahoff comes away with another rebound. The Wildcats, look at Blahoff just backing Mackay in, and that's too easy. He just backed him in, worked him into the basket, and he's just got too much size and too much bulk for someone of Mike Mackay's size.
Yes, Blahoff ran the court then too, David, which is something that you don't see that often. Scott Dennis gets the points back. Scott Dennis with 11 points now for the 36'ers. 37-46. Perth leading. The Fisher long bomb doesn't hit. And away goes Scott Dennis. He charges the basket. And that's to Scott Dennis that will bring the house down. Scott Dennis, a big game last week against the Giants, and he's backing up again this week.
Yes, good drive from Dennis there. Used his speed. Got out in the open court. There's been a match change there, Peter. Looks like as Ninnis tries to get away again, trying to prove the spark. He'll get an easy one. No, won't go. Mark Davis has switched on to James Crawford, and Paris McCurdy is lining up on Scott Fisher. So that's no, looks like they've switched back again. Fisher now being guarded by Davis again. Blahoff underneath. Great pass from Ricky Grace. That looked like it was out of the Adelaide playbook.
Yes, Adelaide have been using that a lot in pre-season. Blahoff with 16 points now, and he's got those at 64%. Great defence there by Perth. James Crawford mops up. Scott Fisher now, and Torrance. Blahoff with some space, but as easy as you like with the big men. They get inside, and when you do that, Perth very, very dangerous.
Scott Fisher, a big mobile man. He got the rebound, outlet to Torrance, and then made the court, filled the lane, and found the hole right in the middle of the keyway. Good play from Perth. Here's Mackay. Now with Crawford on him. Smythe. Nowhere to go. No one making any moves. Now Smythe back in the corner. We're down to 5 seconds. A tough shot from McCurdy. Won't go, but Smythe will pick it up. Back to McCurdy. We'll go all the way, and that'll be an offensive foul. And that's a pretty obvious call there. Mike Butler.
Foul is 32. 3-2 red.
Scott Fisher was standing right there. Feet both on the ground, and as we take a look here on replay, Fisher standing there. Look at that, plenty of time. And that's a certain charge foul, if there is such a thing.
39-50. Perth leading by 11. Just under 9.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Ricky Grace for some space. Blahoff, Fisher, too strong, too powerful at the moment, Perth. But away go Adelaide. Scott Dennis with a big dunk. And that's what the Adelaide fans want. But they need a lot more of it. Scott Dennis now with 13 points.
Grace. Now look at Perth just working the tempo at their game. Trying to find people inside. Crawford, little 8-foot jump shot. And that's Perth's game at the moment. They've just got to keep plugging away at it. Mackay, can he go all the way? He can. Adelaide trying to lift the tempo. They've got to get the game into their speed. And there's Ricky Grace just walking that ball up. Fisher. Crawford trying to use that one dribble jump trademark of James Crawford's. Vlahoff now. Oh, the gap opens up, and that'll be a foul. Mackay. We'll wait for the call.
Red 10. Lock.
It's called on Mike Mackay before the shot, and the Wildcats will get it from the side.
You all right?
Wildcats lead 52-43.
Let's download Eddie.
The lead is 9 points. Ricky Grace. Perth shooting 44% from the floor against Adelaide 40. Adelaide is up the ante a little bit. Vlahoff and Torrance. Torrance with some space from the baseline. No points. Vlahoff went up and down. He has a chat to the referee on the way past and said, how about that? The referee not interested. Now McCurdy with a little bit of space. Tries to get closer. Phil Smythe from the baseline. No points. James Crawford with a big rebound. And that's where this Perth side is on top. 28 rebounds to 18.
Yes, look at that, Andrew Vlahoff again. And Crawford just took that rebound straight away from Mark Davis. Just took it straight away from him. The lead is 11. McCurdy. Adelaide got to find something out here. Davis got to get him into the game, and finally he does. So Davis only with 8 points so far in tonight's game. 10 points last week and 8 points this week so far. 2 quiet outings and only 4 rebounds for Mark Davis. The Sixers into their zone. Sorry, Peter. Trying to match up. Work the defense over. 10-second hooter. Grace. Torrance from the corner. That won't go. The Wildcats, they come away with another offensive rebound.
Controlling the boards, the Wildcats, 54-45. Scott Fisher has had a big night. Gets in close. Makes no mistake. So Scott Fisher with 18 points, Vlahoff with 18 points. We'll take a break with the Wildcats leading 56 to the 36'ers 45.
It's his most important leap of all, back home to his own 16-year-old body. Quantum Leap, 10:45 Wednesday on GWN.
Western Australian owned and operated WestTrack. We're a powerful team. With an ongoing investment in apprenticeship training, WestTrack employs 59 apprentices, the largest number in private enterprise, and dedicated to building future careers for Western Australian youth. WestTrack, a powerful team.
Yes, sirree, ain't nothing to compare with Chicken Treat's real chicken hot dog. Light and spiced on a fresh roll with a choice of yummy sauces and chips for just $2. Can you believe that? $2.
She is a stranger in a small town, but behind her smile is a secret and a past she can never forget. The woman she used to be is dead. Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy, coming soon.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse in Adelaide. The Wildcats leading 56 to the 36'ers 45, and David Spear, Perth is controlling the boards, and if you control the boards, you almost inevitably or invariably control the game.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but I think that the telling factor is that Perth are just pounding the offensive glass and creating more opportunities for themselves. The Sixers look as though they're trying to run offense without the ball. They've got to get the ball first. They've got to box out. They've got to work much harder on that defensive end. And if they aren't knocking the ball to the ground, surely that's where the small guys must come into play and pick up that loose ball.
Scott Ninnis for the home side. Paris McCurdy. Mike Mackay has 11 points tonight at 42%. Scott Ninnis gets in close, tries to lay it up. No points though for the 36'ers. The Wildcats bring it away. Vlahoff. Torrance with a lot of space there. Scott Fisher. It's been a bit too strong for Mark Davis tonight. Mark Davis with 8 points and 4 rebounds. One might say he's having a quiet outing, but he's got players like Crawford and Fisher to look after. But he still knows how to defend, as Mark Davis pushed that ball away very cleverly.
That's a great block shot there from Davis. Right on the way up. Timed it beautifully. Not enough of that tonight, though. Watterson checks in for Trevor Torrance. Fisher to Vlahoff. Crawford. The Wildcats being patient. Look at that, another 8-foot jump shot right inside the keyway. That's good offense. Very good offense. Using the ball much better at this stage, and they have a 13-point lead to back it up.
Huge break. 58 to 45. 5.5 minutes to go. Third quarter. Side ball to the 36'ers.
On 30 White. 3-0.
Foul is on Scott Fisher.
There you can see Fisher just using the elbows. Well, it wasn't that bad, but he'd have his elbows out.
Third personal for Scott Fisher.
Red 4. Red 4.
Vlahoff with 3, and also Crawford with 3. And the 36ers have 3-on-3 as well. McCurdy, Mackay and Phil Smythe.
Well, Perth and up in arms about that one. James Crawford can't believe it. And let's take a look at this one in replay. Dennis going up. Crawford's there, and that looked pretty good. I suppose from that camera angle you can't really see where there's a lot of body contact, but I think that's a probably a no call.
Yes, I think you're right. The referee doesn't have the advantage of the television camera, of course. Scott Ninnis puts the first one down, so he's got 3 from 6 tonight from the free throw line. And gets the second. So Scott Ninnis coming right into this game in the third quarter with 15 points now. The 36ers 47 to the Wildcats 58. Vlahoff. Grace. Crawford with 4 personal fouls. Just moving the ball around. Just setting it up very slowly.
3 seconds being called on Scott Fisher. But the Wildcats are just using that ball that little bit better. They're making the passes. No, that's a turnover. Crawford, he could go all the way here, and he does. Well, that's a bad error. Gives 2 points straight back to Perth. 60 to 47. Under 5 now to play in this third quarter. Smythe. McCurdy nearly free there. Davis, top of the keyway. Can't get it to go. Look at Vlahoff. What a rebound.
Very powerful. Andrew Vlahoff. 18 points tonight and 6 rebounds. 5 of those at the defensive end. Been a very valuable player. Scott Fisher has got 9 rebounds, 5 offensive, 4 defensive, and 18 points. Probably the player of the match so far, Scott Fisher. James Crawford
comes away with it to McCurdy. McCurdy, can he try and go all the way? To back it up and get it out. A 3-point play opportunity for Paris McCurdy.
The hard-working Paris McCurdy. We'll have a look at it in replay. Over the top went Scott Fisher. So it was called on the first attempt.
Yeah, Eric Watterson, number 4 from behind. Little pushing foul on McCurdy. He's got 8 points tonight, Paris McCurdy. 7 rebounds. And he's the leading rebounder for the 36ers. Can't make the 3-point play, but they'll get another grab at it. For Smythe. Mackay will be free for 3 if he can get it away, and he can. So it's back to an 8-point break. And Adelaide now in the trenches. Need 2 or 3 stops before three-quarter time.
Watterson for the Wildcats. The Perth side leading 60 to 52. The big men for Perth. Vlahoff, Fisher and Crawford. Up goes Crawford. Too powerful under the basket. And that's what the big men are for. And the Perth big men do it so well. Phil Smythe now for the 36ers, 62 to 52, a 10-point ball game. Mark Davis gets in close for the 36ers, and we haven't seen too much of that, David.
No, we haven't. Davis has been reasonably quiet so far tonight. Vlahoff, Fisher, can't get it to go. Paris, McCurdy, another rebound. The Sixers come away. Smythe, and they turn it over. Now Fisher. Smythe working hard on him. Watterson back to Fisher. And that'll be a foul on Mark Davis. And that is two great players there going head-to-head, Scott Fisher and Mark Davis. We've got a timeout.
Welcome to our studio.
Arnold's being wooed by a Hollywood producer.
All manipulation, right?
But is it all a bribe for a criminal cover-up?
Wait. The Iceman coming right under your nose.
I thought it was you.
You think? Got a package for Gwen Taylor?
Gwen thinks a run of terror is all over.
Maybe. That was me all along.
Maybe it's just begun. LA Law, 10 o'clock Tuesday on GWN.
World-famous hot dog lover, Floyd Furter, has just tasted Chicken Treat's new hot chickadee dog. Floyd?
Well, it's fabulous. A real chicken hot dog in a lovely, fresh sesame seed roll with a choice of yummy sauces.
And right now, you can get a hot chickadee dog and chips with a choice of sauces for only $2.
Well, that is ridiculous. A hot chickadee dog and chips for only $2? I mean, how are they going to make any money? I got the taste.
Nobody grows up without going through a few problems. Now, I don't know what to do. They really don't care. If you have a problem, please, call Kids Helpline. We listen. We care.
Ross Squire has a reputation for quality, personalised, site-built framed homes. Our services include site evaluations, designs, fixed-price quotations, and the building of your new home if required to any stage. We can supply a range of Lysart quality building products and materials for whatever design you choose. We can even take care of transport and insurance, and our owner-built kit homes come with full manufacturer's guarantees. Ross Squire Kit Homes, for excellence in design and manufacture with full after-sales service.
The outrageous real estate man, Len Pretty.
Stick the agent, stick the landlord.
He calls his tenants mongrels. Now they get their chance.
Not mine.
Also the face and figure of the 90s, Gina Davis. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Brett Murray in a few minutes. Jerry Denard, Brett Wheeler and Paul Rogers haven't seen the court as yet so far tonight. And the longer the game goes, it's going to be harder to put someone like that in.
Dead right. We're underway again. Ricky Grace thought about the long bomb. Eric Watterson does more than think about it. Away goes Brett Maher for the 36'ers. Scott Ninnis now and Mike Mackay. Couldn't quite get enough space for the long one. 62-54. The 36'ers trail by 8 points. McCurdy. Mike Mackay with a long one. Doesn't make it. Great rebound there by Paris McCurdy and gets the points. He's the worker. Paris McCurdy now with 10 points for the 36'ers. So the home side down by 6.
6 points. Watterson. Cross court to Vlahoff. Going for 3. That hurts. Great shot, Andrew Vlahoff. Don Monson knows Andrew Vlahoff very well. Coached against him in the States when he was with Oregon, and Vlahoff was with Stanford. Says he would have liked to have Vlahoff playing with him at Oregon.
Well, he's a nightmare for him tonight because Andrew Vlahoff has got his points at 69%, which is very good shooting.
Now that's a 3-point shot attempt. But referee Ian Watts is saying that was after the attempt.
After the shot. There.
After the shot. And it's going to be another side ball. Don Monson is not happy to make it an understatement. Hard to tell without seeing what the official actually called on that play. But I don't know whether he called it as a hands foul because Ninnis really was way off on the shot. Inside they go to McCurdy. Chris Carroll has checked in for a couple of minutes for the Wildcats.
I'm going that way.
And sees action straight away. That's his first foul. 1-on-1 to Paris McCurdy.
Every attempt at the basket for Adelaide vital now. Adelaide has only got a 44% return from the free throw line in this game. McCurdy gets the first one, so you'll get another chance. That's 1 from 3 from Paris McCurdy.
One to go.
And tonight they've got 5 from 10, the 36ers. McCurdy's second, goes in. So the 36ers now 58, trail the Wildcats 65.
McCurdy with 12 points and 10 rebounds in the game for Paris McCurdy so far. That's a good play. Davis rejects that. Steve Davis was looking for a goaltend, so was Adrian Hurley. Not coming. Vlahoff for another 3. No. Mackay. And finally the Sixers come away. Ninnis. Davis was free underneath, but Ninnis goes all the way. Davis working hard, but there's just no support for him. And the Wildcats will come away again. Chris Carroll, Vlahoff, Fisher, just moving that ball well, taking the time. Eric Watterson getting him set. Taking all the way, McCurdy comes up with a steal. Ninnis, this will be a dunk. Look out. Oh no. Well, maybe I'll put the mockers on him. And the crowd can't believe it. And that might help his confidence.
Adelaide's been playing catch-up basketball most of the night, David, and when the pressure's on, things like that happen. It's three-quarter time here at the Powerhouse. What looked like it was a big finish to that quarter by the 36ers turned into a tragedy with Scott Ninnis missing the dunk. So at three-quarter time, the Wildcats lead 65 to the 36ers 58.
The trust between doctor and patient.
If you are, in fact, HIV positive,
can never be broken.
I'm not telling her I've got AIDS.
Even when another life's in danger.
My friend's life is at risk, and you're just going to stand by?
I don't have any choice, Rosemary. And marriage arrangements are kept under wraps.
Not a hint to Esme.
As long as Harry can keep his mouth shut.
Help me, Kate. I can feel an announcement coming on.
Easier said than done.
Guess what else we're doing?
How can Kate keep him quiet?
Look, it's okay for you. You're the man.
A Country Practice, Monday on GWN.
Your CRT local bloke. If you don't already know him, let us take the time to tell you. Your local bloke does more than get your farm supplies from out the back. He's a specialist who stocks a complete range of products specific to your needs. Your local bloke is also a part of your community. He knows your area and provides professional advice when and where you need it. He's there when you need him for all your farm supplies. He knows about the land, and with 350 just like him across Australia, your CRT local bloke is sure to help you.
Only one Southwest beef processor can offer you access to the state's leading beef export markets and the local beef markets, E.G. Green & Sons. It's their consistency of demand that ensures your livestock will be processed swiftly and efficiently to maximise your return. By selling your beef direct or through your local E.G. Green & Sons rep, you'll not only reduce handling and bruising, but receive prompt payment. You can also inspect your stock during processing. E.G. Green & Sons, the very best in value and service.
At the Denmark Agricultural College, students seeking higher education, apprenticeships or employment in agriculture get solid skills training and theory in course areas as comprehensive as the industry itself. Year 10 students considering this educational alternative for next year should contact the college and arrange to participate in a 1-week obligation-free introductory program prior to enrolment. Ring now and put this stamp of success on your future.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide. Three-quarter time, the Perth Wildcats 65 lead the Adelaide 36ers 58. And David, looking at those stats, there's not a great deal in it.
No, there's not, and one would have thought the rebounding would have been a little bit more spread apart than 33 to 26. Adelaide, I suppose, picked up a few there in that last couple of minutes. The three-point percentage is low. The field goal percentage is between 40 and 50. Generally would say okay, but 40% is still a bit low. Free throw percentage from the Wildcats is good. For Adelaide, it's poor. And there's a 7-point ball game. And the turnovers from both teams had 5 each in that first quarter, so that's really cut back as well. So three-quarter time, a 7-point ball game, and Adelaide will need to do something to come home with a wet sail to get on top of this Wildcat team. And first use will go to the Wildcats.
Grace takes it from Blahoff. 65 to 58. Blahoff has been a star. 21 points, 7 rebounds, and he's got his points at 64%. Perth with far more scoring options than Adelaide. They've got the big men. They don't have to use the perimeter as much as Adelaide, but when they do, they've done it slightly better. Away goes Adelaide. Ninnis, Smythe from 3 points. Can't get it away. What a mismatch that was. Blahoff and Smythe. The big man went up and just plucked it from the air.
Yes, he did. Grace. Torrance. Perth just working that ball around again. 10-second hooter goes. Crawford. They need to get a shot up. Torrance will go for 3. That'll be short. But they come away with it again. Grace. Torrance. Blahoff. Getting inside. Won't go. McCurdy. Now Ninnis. He's away. Not really attacking the basket. Was Scotty Ninnis. Looked like he almost second guess of himself after that missed dunk. McCurdy. Trying to isolate Mark Davis now. They find him inside. Davis looking for somewhere to operate. Can't get the game. McCurdy. Torrance. Grace. The Wildcats away again.
They're still controlling the boards, the Wildcats. Blahoff now with a bit of space. Can't get the 3 points. But again, whenever it comes off the glass, the power of Perth, a determining factor.
Grace. He's left alone. Can't get it.
Smythe for the 36'ers. Points win games. The 36'ers have got to start scoring them. Ninnis for 2. Can't get a point. They can't buy a point, the 36'ers. 65 to 58. So they've had no points, no score yet in this last break. And we're closing in on 9.5 minutes to go. Blahoff. Crawford. You put your money on Perth to score first. Up goes Grace. Easy as you like. When you're that close, you don't miss.
Yes, 2.5 minutes into this quarter, and there's the field goal percentage from both teams now under that 40% mark. Ninnis, McCurdy trying to work on Fisher, and it won't go. But McCurdy will get 2 shots from the foul line, and Fisher.
3-0 White pushing.
Yes, it's Scott Fisher's 4th foul. We just watch here down Fisher just using that left arm before he got the hands up.
2 shots.
And the ball didn't go in, so Paris McCurdy will get 2 shots. The Eagles Super Sixers. Trailing by 9 points. McCurdy had a reasonable game. He's been Adelaide's best rebounder. He's got 12 rebounds tonight, 6 offensive and 6 defensive. He's backed it up with 13 points. Make it 14. And the lead is back to 7.
Probably Adelaide's best player, Paris McCurdy. 14 points, 12 rebounds. Blahoff and Fisher. Fisher tries to get in close. Great defence there from Paris McCurdy.
Yes, and James Crawford getting caught in the keyway. 3-second violation. Can't stay in that keyway area for more than 3 seconds, and he was waiting for Fisher to take the shot to get good rebound position. But it wasn't forthcoming. And a turnover. Perth have really done their homework. In that last play, Adelaide had to get the ball to Smythe to make the pass inside to McCurdy, and Grace was all over him. Phil complained to the referee about it. And Ricky Grace really knows what players Adelaide are running and when to keep the ball out of Phil Smythe's hand. I think that's been a big factor in tonight's game.
Yeah, you called that early, David, and you're right. Phil Smythe just hasn't been able to control the plays at all. He's had that man to worry about. He's worn him like a glove. Ricky Grace.
Score.
Well,
6. That way.
Phil Smythe and Don Monson unhappy about that. That really, I don't think was a... well, I don't think Sean Fanning wanted the game to get out of any sort of control, so he called that foul. I don't think there was any doubt about it not getting out of control. Grace, Torrance. Wow, Crawford's inside now against Mackay if they can see him. Steve Davis from the top of the key, but McCurdy brings down another one. Now to Smythe.
The home side needs to score, and quickly. Mike Mackay, Harris McCurdy. The workout goes up, and a great assist there by big Mark Davis. So 12 points to Mark Davis and 9 rebounds. They certainly need him to come right into this game. 62 to 67. It's a 5-point ball game now. The 36ers closer than they've been for a long, long time. Grace left alone. No points. McCurdy again. Away goes Phil Smythe. Mark Davis. Points. 14 points to Mark Davis. The 36ers within 3 points.
And we've got a timeout here at the Clipsal Powerhouse. The Adelaide 36ers making a mini comeback. They trail by 3 points, 67 to 64.
Live from the Gabba, the Bears at their new home ground take on the might of the Cats. 12 o'clock Sunday, Brisbane and Geelong on Golden West Television.
Here's Australia.
Yes, sirree, ain't nothing to compare with Chicken Treat's real chicken hot dog. Light as fast on a fresh roll with a choice of yummy sauces and chips for just $2. Can you believe that? Two taste.
An R&I block and build loan. An R&I first homeowners loan. An R&I investment loan. An R&I home improvement loan. Whatever your situation, the R&I has a home loan to help.
For your next cup of coffee, try this. Dissolve the coffee in a dash of hot water, then top it up with pure fresh WA milk. How about one right now? Pure fresh WA milk.
Had it today.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse. This was the play just before the break. Smythe to Mark Davis. So with 7.5 minutes to go in this game, the Wildcats 67 lead the 36ers 64. A 3-point ball game. That's the closest Adelaide has been for some considerable time. Jerry Denard gets some court time for the 36ers. So the home side looking for a spark.
Harris McCurdy is sitting down. That's interesting stuff because Harris has been playing quite well. But interesting point that the 36ers haven't won a game coming from behind at three-quarter time for nearly 2 years. So that's an interesting point that they, I'm sure they don't want to think about. No, I'm sure they don't. The Wildcats would be happy with. Watterson, Crawford, Grace. Oh, good feed off Mackay. Comes up with a steal. Adelaide trail by 3. This big crowd getting behind them now, finding some voice. Maybe Jerry Denard is the man they need to give some inspiration out there. Davis, turnaround jumper is long, and they come away with it easily.
It's a tough shot. Mark Davis couldn't quite pull it off. Crawford, travel. The crowd have been yelling travel often tonight. They haven't seen it called much, but it was called then at a crucial time for the 36ers. 67 to 64. The 36ers down by 3. But the Wildcats have still got the power. They've got Crawford, Vlahoff and Fisher having a bit of a rest at the moment. Knocked away. Denard with a big rebound. Gets it back. Jerry Denard gets it a little bit closer. Phil Smythe thought about the long bomb. Gets 2 points. The 36ers trail by 1.
Well, the crowd to its feet. And Jerry Denard picking up an offensive rebound, giving it back to Smythe. Gives a little head fake. 1 dribble, easy jump shot. The field goal percentage there still under 40%, 39 to the 36'ers, 38 to the Wildcats. Fisher taking it, Jerry Denard, can't get it, Denard, Smythe comes up with it. The crowd's on its feet. We've still got 6 minutes to play, so there's a long way to go in this ball game yet.
Is there ever? Phil Smythe, the general, played 328 games for Australia. Last 2 shot selections from Mark Davis have both been tough ones. The turnaround jumper from a long way out, and that was from downtown, that one, and they haven't worked.
One thing you've got to remember about Jerry Denard, he's the master of the defensive play. He can lure in charging fouls all night long, and that's a big play. That's a big play. Scotty Fisher on a great feed from James Crawford, and Scotty Ninnis has picked up with the foul. Let's watch this. Crawford, look at Fisher. No one inside the key anywhere near Scotty Fisher. And Don Monson's called a timeout here at the Clipsal Powerhouse. So with 5:33 to play in the final quarter, it's the Wildcats by 3 over the Adelaide 36'ers.
Every moment in time creates questions the human mind cannot answer. Beyond all we understand lies the extraordinary.
Western Australian owned and operated WestTrack. We're a powerful team. With an ongoing investment in apprenticeship training, WestTrack employs 59 apprentices, the largest number in private enterprise, and dedicated to building future careers for Western Australian youth. WestTrack, a powerful team.
At Solomon's Albany, during the sensational red-hot run-out at sell-out prices, get luxurious heavy-duty Stainmaster cut and loop, a red-hot run-out at $79 a metre, or Decor vinyl by Armstrong at a red-hot $16 a square metre. And from Cresta Albany and Solomon's, buy one and get one free. Solomon's Carpet Stores.
Your Ford New Holland dealer has the latest in performance and dependability. See the Ford PowerStar tractor, better by design, or the Ford Versatile 4-wheel drive. You can't beat Ford and New Holland in the hayfields with their new disc mower conditioner or the roll belt round baler for the big round bale. The 650 round baler features the simple and easy to operate automatic wrapping system. For total harvesting capacity, you can depend on the twin rotor combine. See your Great Southern Ford New Holland dealer. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse in Adelaide. The Wildcats 69, leading the 36'ers 66. 5 minutes 33 seconds to go in this game. A long, long way to go. But of course, the big problem that the 36'ers have had all night is this fabulous front court of Perth. Scott Fisher, Andrew Vlahoff, and James Crawford. It doesn't look like any one of those players is going to foul out. They'll be there right till the end. Scott Fisher turns it into a three-point play, 70 to 66. The Wildcats by 4.
Fisher with 21 points and 9 rebounds tonight. He's got him at 45% from the floor. Played an excellent game. Mackay under pressure from Vlahoff. McCurdy's back in for Jerry Denard. Tries a little jumper from the corner. And Harris McCurdy makes that number 32 uniform look pretty good.
Does he ever? And he makes Don Monson's judgment look pretty good too. I think, David, you used to wear 32 and you're 36 a days. A big rebound from Mark Davis. Away goes Scott Ninnis. The 36ers trail by 2 points. Paris McCurdy seems to have a bit of trouble with his right eye. But he's been a big worker tonight, Paris McCurdy. 16 points, 14 rebounds. Down goes Vlahoff and McCurdy. Phil Smythe. And the call is on Grace. Ricky Grace.
Well, McCurdy is bleeding from the eye, and they're having words down there with Fisher. There's the foul, and McCurdy has to leave the floor. And he is not happy about something. I don't know whether that happened off the ball down there. He's pointing now to referee Mike Butler. What happened? There's his eye. It's split open. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the rule is on this, but I think because of the blood situation, he has to leave the floor. Now, he's allowed to come back onto the floor, but if it opens up again, then he can be completely banned from the game.
Well, that's a crucial issue for the 36ers, because McCurdy is the 36ers' hardest worker tonight and the best player for the 36ers tonight, with 16 points and 14 rebounds. So the first one goes down for Phil Smythe. He's a free throw specialist, is Phil Smythe, aiming to level the score here at the powerhouse. Can't do it. Picked up by Scott Fisher. They've still got the big men out there, Fisher, Vlahoff and Crawford. That makes their scoring options far better than Adelaide. Close to a turnover there, but not quite. Grace. No points, but in comes Grace again. Oh, that's a super play from Ricky Grace that gets the 2 points.
Again, that offensive rebounding of the Wildcats. The Sixers are playing that match-up zone, and they're at times getting lost and wayward in their matchups. Inside to Davis, they turn it over. Good steal by Crawford. Now Watterson. Here's Crawford, 8-footer. Good night, James Crawford. And we've got another timeout. Don Monson not wasting any time. A 5-point break, and what could have been a tied ball game on a Phil Smythe foul shot. 30 seconds later, it's a 5-point break to the Wildcats again, and that just shows the composure and the control they have had on this since about probably halfway, three-quarters way through that first quarter.
Yes, and once again we saw James Crawford basically left alone there in the key way, and there was no possibility at all that he was going to miss the shot. No pressure on him, and as you say, the Wildcats have picked it up and they've gone to a 5-point lead. So 3 minutes 41 to go. It's 74-69. And just having a look at some of these stats, it's pretty close. They're shooting 39% apiece from the floor. Adelaide doing slightly better from the three-point line, although compared to last week, they're not doing too well at all. Only 4 from 16 at 25%. Perth 4 from 20. Perth doing better from the foul line. And we look at the rebounding, and that's where Adelaide's picked up in the second half, David.
Yes, they have. They really cut that down, 36-40. And I think there's a lot of those little scrappy rebounds they've managed to pick up, yet Perth seem to be controlling the rebounding situations. Paris McCurdy looks like he's subbing back in, probably for Jerry Denard, I would say. He's got a Band-Aid over that cut eye, and there's Adrian Hurley giving final instructions to his players. But I suppose, lean to Perth because they have control of this game, and Adelaide haven't been able to explode. Maybe Mike Mackay needs to come to the floor at the moment and maybe bury a couple of big three-pointers. Yeah,
Adelaide's really had to scrounge for its points, hasn't it? Whereas Perth has just had quality shooters because of the power and the strength. They've got in close, and when Vlahoff, Fisher, Crawford get the ball in close, they normally score.
Yeah, I mean, Fisher's shooting at 45% and Crawford at 44%, which means they're taking the shots inside the keyway, very close to the basket. And when the crunch time comes, it'll be interesting to see who the go-to man is for the Perth Wildcats.
3 minutes 41 seconds to go. The Wildcats by 5. It's 74-69. Adelaide has the ball courtesy Phil Smythe, the general. Mark Davis's last 2 attempts have been difficult shots, just like that. That won't make it, but in comes Mike Mackay again and gets the basket. A great backup by Mike Mackay. 74-71, Perth by 3.
Well, we called it Mackay had to do something inspirational, and that was very, very good. He had a super offensive rebound from Mike Mackay. Really came hard and picked up that rebound. Now they go inside to Fisher. McCurdy picking him up. They had words just before McCurdy left the floor a few minutes ago. Vlahoff on Mackay. That misses completely. Don Monson wants the ball pushed up the floor.
amazing, David. We talk about pressure, and perhaps this Perth side under the first bit of pressure that we've seen tonight, and even Andrew Vlahoff, who was in close then and completely missed the basket. So there is a bit of pressure out there for Perth, obviously. Scott Dennis tries to go all the way.
Now that could be Fisher's fifth. We'll just wait for the call.
3-0.
Yes, it is. That's Scott Fisher's number 5. Now that's a good drive from Ninnis there. He had it all over Watterson. Fisher just moving across underneath Ninnis as he was in the air.
2.
Now, if Fisher does happen to pick up his 6th foul, even though it's only 2.5 minutes to play, that will be a big bonus for the Sixers. Although Steve Davis is a very adequate player, he's not of the calibre of a Scott Fisher. And that tells the tale, doesn't it?
It does. Scott Dennis just having problems from the free throw line. 4 from 8 tonight, so he's only popped 50% in. But he is the Adelaide player that is most capable of drawing the foul, and
he is, yes.
As you said before, or as we both mused before, we doubted whether any Perth player would foul out. But suddenly Scott Fisher's on 5, and so it gets a little bit tenuous. Scott Fisher left alone, can't get the basket. A big rebound from Mark Davis. Away go the 36ers. Scott Dennis can't get a free run at the basket. Back to Phil Smythe. 74-72. The home side haven't been in front since the first couple of minutes of this game. They can't level the scores. They played catch-up basketball most of the night. Grace, Watterson, Fisher left alone, and no basket. Mark Davis again. Phil Smythe.
Well, that's 3 big rebounds from Mark Davis. Ninnis is going all the way, and he'll get it. And the crowd is on its feet here at the Clipsal Powerhouse. You can hear it. It's tied away, and Scotty Ninnis has done it. A little push from Eric Watterson. And if he goes the line and makes the basket, hang on, well, a couple of players really going heated there. Paris McCurdy has won.
Come on.
And I don't know what it's about, but I would say...
You're in there. Middle.
Okay, I think the McCurdy and a few of the Wildcat players were locking arms down there in the low block. McCurdy just trying to get his position on the foul line, and I don't think any of the Perth players wanted to get there, and I don't blame them. But now Scotty Ninnis can put the Sixers ahead by 1.
Well, from the free throw line tonight, Scott Ninnis has 5 from 9. He makes it a 3-point play. The 36ers in front for the first time since about the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Ricky Grace. Pressure for the Wildcats. And for the first time in this game, David, we have seen the Wildcats wilt under pressure.
Yes, there's Ninnis trying to go at Torrance. In trouble. Mackay is free, so is McCurdy. Mackay from a long way out. And really, probably not the shot they wanted. I didn't see what the shot clock said. Fisher, Vlahoff, now Torrance. We're hitting at the minute mark. Still 20-odd seconds on the shot clock. Down to 15. Vlahoff for 3 and gets it. Vlahoff gets it. So it's a 2-point ball game in favour of the Wildcats. What's the money on overtime?
A lot.
Timeout.
Money on overtime. Timeout called here at the Powerhouse.
Hi, I'm Josie Bissett. I play Jane on Melrose Place.
We don't spend some quality time together soon, we're going to be headed for trouble.
Fresh squeezed orange juice, blueberry muffin, your favorite. What more could you ask?
Our old life back.
The Vennemores have been farming this land for 4 generations. Since 1934, they've harvested 45,000 hectares of wheat, shorn 150,000 sheep, put up 160 kilometers of fencing, and worn out 16 tractors, 8 harvesters, 8 utes, and 5 trucks. They've also built 6 sheds and 2 homes, and it's all been protected by just one insurance company, West Shore.
For fresh food and warm, friendly service, get into Brunswick Foodland. Backed by the biggest warehouse in WA, Brunswick Foodland now offer more variety at great prices. The modern shopping facilities, easy parking and helpful staff all make sure your shopping is not just a chore. Deli lines are cut while you wait. And now with Dardanup Butchering Company, Brunswick Foodland is your complete one-stop shopping centre. They offer more than competitive prices with that friendly country service. Brunswick Foodland for friendly, fresh food shopping.
Toyota strong, Toyota proud, Toyota at its best.
With new stocks of Land Cruiser Wagon, including the newly released RV Petrol Wagon, Land Cruiser Tray Tops and Hilux Commercials, Narrogin Toyota are servicing the Great Southern with the kind of reliability you can trust.
Toyota strong, Toyota proud, Toyota at its best.
Seduced by her beauty.
She's a friggin' suspect, Frank. Just walk away.
Blinded by passion.
I believe in animal attraction.
Academy Award winner Al Pacino in the seductive thriller Sea of Love, coming soon.
However, with the game clock at 45 seconds, if Adelaide get a basket, there will be time for Perth to come back. So you'd have to, obviously, you favour Perth at this stage. Smythe.
McCurdy inside. Davis will take it at Crawford. And James Crawford is called for the foul. And that'll be number 5 on Crawford. 7-2. And if you're a Wildcat supporter, you don't want this game to go to overtime.
Dead right.
Because if it does go to overtime and Crawford and Fisher both in foul trouble, Adelaide all of a sudden are back to the field, and there's the foul. It was actually on Crawford's left hand, I think. Not on the ball, on the body in that left hand. Mark Davis. 2 shots. The Wildcats have 1 timeout left, and I think Adrian Hurley will depend on whether Mark Davis levels the score or not. He does. Sorry, he makes it a 1-point ball game. Only 32 seconds to go. Davis connects. It's tied away. Hurley wants a timeout. They've got to get the ball in bounds. And they've called timeout.
So the timeout's called with 30 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure what was on the shot clock. I don't know whether... Well, there'll obviously be a couple of seconds off, so there'll be a 2 or 3 seconds difference between the gate clock and the shot clock.
Yes, I think it's about 2 seconds, David. So, well, a tense time here at the Powerhouse. The scores are locked away.
If you're Adrian Hurley, and here he is setting the play, obviously he's got to get a shot, probably for Andrew Vlahoff, Fisher or Crawford. The idea would have to be come down, isolate one of those players, move the ball around for the whole of the 30 seconds of the offense they've got, with about 6-7 seconds to go. Push the ball inside, try and find a Crawford or a big player, let him move one-on-one, then crash the boards. Ricky Grace and Eric Watterson have got to cover the backcourt, so if Adelaide do come up with the ball, that Scotty Ninnis or Mike Mackay doesn't rush the floor for a quick shot. Other than that, in this position, the Wildcats are saying, well, we'll take the last shot. If we miss it, we'll see you in overtime.
Right, and you mentioned overtime and possible problems for Perth with Fisher and Crawford on 5 fouls. The other interesting factor that we've got to bring up, or the other interesting facet of this game, is the extent to which pressure has suddenly played a part in the game for Perth. Now, we've seen them make 3 or 4 errors in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes.
It's crunch time for Perth.
It is. One other thing, Peter, the Sixers only got 2 team fouls in this last quarter, so they're not in the bonus. So really they should probably come up the floor, maybe, well, I don't know, maybe play some sort of pressing defense, maybe not. They can go for some steals. If they make fouls, it's not going to make any difference because they're not going to send Perth to the line until they get to that team foul situation. Now here's Smythe, they're coming up the floor. I think that could be a good move, maybe to try and get up the floor, make the Wildcats make a turnover, try and pick up a steal. As you can see, Smythe is going to get all over Ricky Grace. It won't matter if he fouls now. The only thing it'll do is it'll stop the shot clock, and there's the foul. Now they reset the shot clock. 5 fouls on Phil Smythe. 22.8 seconds remaining. The shot clock won't come into it. There's still one foul to give before the bonus. Grace. Who are they going to go to? Grace looking for the shot clock. They're down to 6 or 7. They should foul now and stop the clock. They should foul. Fisher goes for it and gets it. That'll be it. Davis will throw up a prayer. And that'll be the ball game. The Wildcats have really taken what was a game which was theirs from about halfway through the first quarter. And Scott Fisher really letting the crowd know about it too. Probably not the most popular man in Adelaide, but full credit to the Perth Wildcats. They have come out of this game with a win in what could only be very, very interesting circumstances, Peter.
Certainly, they looked as though they were wilting slightly towards the end, Perth, but they certainly played it out in a masterful way. So there it is, at the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide. Perth has beaten the 36'ers 79-77.
Steve McQueen's a corporate high flyer who executes the most daring bank robbery ever seen.
Organised, scientific.
The cops haven't got a clue.
A great big nothing. We're dummies.
But when Faye Dunaway is called in,
I know he's our man.
The mystery unfolds.
Always get your man.
In a Wednesday matinee movie thriller.
Let's play something else.
A classic game of cat and mouse.
Beautiful.
A tangled web of lies and deceit.
He's the one.
Think you'll get me?
The Thomas Crown Affair. 1:30 Wednesday.
You know, 1 in 20 people required ambulance transport in Western Australia last year. Are you fully covered for ambulance care? By joining the St John Ambulance Benefit Fund, you'll receive full cover Australia-wide and be helping the community. Country funds stay in your local area, helping to maintain the high-quality services you depend on. Support St John Ambulance. The cost is small, the benefit great. Join today at your local sub-centre.
Albany's new independent merchandise store, Albany Rural and General on Chester Pass Road, is also a clothing store with everything from socks to jocks, hardware and yakka and leisure gear as well. You'll be in fashion in West Australian merino wool jumpers from Mariba and the best in jeanery for street or saddle. At work or play, their RM Williams wear will see you right. And at Albany Rural and General, warm to the thought of winter with work jumpers, parkas and waterproofs. From head to toe, they're serving country and townspeople's needs. Albany Rural and General.
Been shopping, have you, Ted?
Yeah. Anyway, where are you going? On holiday. You could say that.
Tired of the crowd, it's time to get away. Take the family on a shopping holiday. Open all weekend, Mandarin Forum. On a weekend day, we're not far away. The sun is shopping on a shopping holiday.
Not just great shopping, but a great day out.
Take a shopping holiday at Mandarin Forum.
I have 91 details for you if you're ready.
Welcome back to the Clipsal Powerhouse with the news that the Perth Wildcats 79 have defeated the Adelaide 36'ers 77. A nail-biting finish, and a man that played a big role in that finish is Scott Fisher, and he's now talking with David Spear.
Scotty Fisher, 23 points, 11 rebounds, and the big bucket at the end.
Well, yeah, the big bucket at the end, I guess, was most important. It's been a long time since I've been on a team that's beat the 36'ers, so it's today was a good win.
Coming from North Melbourne, as you said, North Melbourne, I suppose, haven't beaten the 36'ers last year at all, and this year the decision to stay with the Wildcats. Are you happy with that decision?
I'm overwhelmed. It's really better than I could have imagined, and I've only been there a couple weeks. As soon as they get me out of that hotel, I'll be a lot happier.
Now, your role with the side, obviously it's pretty much the same as you were playing with the Giants. If you're out open with that outside jump shot, that three-point shot, it's there. If not, work inside and pound the boards.
Yeah, that's true. It is similar to North Melbourne, but it is different in such that we have so many other people to go to. We have so many more weapons offensively, so there isn't a scoring burden on me. I just have to be able to play defense against other teams' centers.
Going against Mark Davis and Paris McCurdy, obviously a few words said down there towards the latter stages of the game.
We all get along very nicely. We say a few things to each other here and there, but you know, it's all in the competition. It's nothing bad.
Well, congratulations, a great effort, and the best of luck tomorrow night against the Magic.
All right, David, thanks a lot.
Our thanks there to Scott Fisher, part of a very, very powerful Perth front court, which proved just a little bit too powerful for the 36ers at the end of the game. We'll have a look at the match stats now, and they are very interesting because midway through the game, David, Perth were way out in front statistically, but it certainly evened up as the scores did from the floor shooting, 39% apiece, the three-point shooting virtually level. Adelaide got right back into the rebounds, and it obviously a very, very close game.
Yes, it was a very, very close game. Came right down to the wire, that last shot by Scott Fisher, and maybe I suppose Mark Davis there's the top point scorers. Ninnis, McCurdy, Mackay, Davis came to the party, 3 big rebounds in that closing quarter. Blahoff, Fisher, 23 there. Crawford was 16, Grace 10, and Torrance was 6.
Yes, that's that front court there for the Wildcats. Blahoff, Fisher and Crawford, very strong as was expected. Okay, that's the situation here from the Clipsal Powerhouse here in Adelaide. The Perth Wildcats 79 has defeated the Adelaide 36ers 77. On behalf of David Spear and Peter Marker, it's good night from the Clipsal Powerhouse in Adelaide.
Our guys are flying, gonna put them on the spot. There's no denying that our guys are hot. Setting the court alight, doing it right, making the big shots, keeping the game tight. Our guys are hot. They're coming to get you ready or not. Our guys are hot. Our guys are hot. Give me 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. Setting the court on fire. What? You better believe that. Our guys are hot. They're coming to get you ready or not. Our guys are hot. Our guys are hot. Give me 10. Our guys are hot.
This 1993 NBL telecast, proudly presented by West Track Equipment and Chicken Treat.
They are